Namaste. This lesson is about what to eat. Now, this is also a very controversial topic, and I'm not here to preach anything. I just want to share my own experience and how I eat and how that makes me feel. And I also bring in a lot of the Ayurvedic knowledge and also the yogic diet. So let's start from the beginning. The big question I always get is, do you have to be vegetarian to do yoga? No, you don't have to be vegetarian to do yoga. But if you're on a spiritual path, and if you're like a normal person like I am, a normal householder, you say in India, then you will hit a blockage at one point if you still eat meat and animal products. We will talk about milk later, but in general, you have to understand when we eat animal products, the energies of the animal products are very heavy because it comes from an animal. An animal has a very strong energy, so this energy has to be overwritten by our body. Now, when I don't eat all this, my body, the energy of my body is lighter by itself, just because I don't bring those heavy energies inside. And I need light energies to spiritually evolve. So that's why I'm saying you don't have to be vegetarian to do yoga, not at all. But at one point you will realize that if you cut out the meat, especially the meat, you will take the next step on your journey. You will hit one blockage at one point, and you can only go further if you change your diet. This has to do with the physical body. Our physical body is our car, so to say, for our journey. And I have to update my car in certain ways so I can go further. And this we can do a lot with our diet. Our diet matters a lot when we talk about how our physical body feels. This is our main source of energy, food. For now, we didn't learn how to digest light and love. So we still need to eat, we still need to take food in our body. This is the main source of energy. So it matters greatly what I eat to how my body feels and also how my body is prepared for my spiritual journey. So just to understand this a little, why I'm saying all this. So in general, it is good if you are cutting out the meat from your diet. You don't have to do it just like that. And it can also be that in our culture, it's like I'm talking here about European culture. In almost all the countries, meat is a very important part of a daily meal. So if you grew up in such a culture, it is maybe a little hard in the beginning to cut it out, because you cannot even imagine what will you eat if that is not there. How will you survive? I can tell you I'm surviving now. Since I'm 12 years old, I'm vegetarian, still alive, still feeling quite good. So you will survive. It's just the changing phase is a little difficult maybe, because you don't know what to cook, you don't know how to prepare the vegetables, and you have to be open. You have to find the joy in cooking, find the joy in experimenting, trying out new things, and then it is easy. But your mind has to be ready for it. You have to be ready for change. Just because I'm telling you cut out the meat and you're like, another one of these grass eaters. I've heard worse. So you have to set your mind first. If you really decide you want to cut out the meat, it is no problem at all, and you will find a lot of nice new recipes which you can use to create nice meals without meat. So meat is the main thing which you should cut out if you want to evolve spiritually as well. And then it comes into finer things. So I wouldn't say, like, if you're a meat eater right now, don't just jump from meat eater to being total vegan in a day. You will not be able to cope with this change, and you will come back to the meat very fast. So if you want to have a deep change, do it over a period of time and let yourself also experience the different layers of this change so you can really implement everything. So the first thing which I would recommend is not eating meat anymore. Cut out the meat from your diet. You will see a big change already. Only on the physical level, your digestion will be much better, because meat is very hard to digest. It takes a long time to digest, so we feel tired, we feel heavy when we eat meat. When you leave this out, you feel lighter and more energetic. I'm just telling you, try it out, see for yourself. So meat is one of the big things. The next big thing is animal products in general. So here in Europe, I have to say this extra, when you say in India, I'm a vegetarian, no one will serve you egg. It's even if you say you're vegetarian and they serve you egg, they can get really big troubles with the law. So egg is another big thing. Egg is also very heavy. The energy is very heavy, and from the egg, actually, it's supposed to become a chicken. Even if it's not fertilized, the egg still has very heavy energies, and how the egg is produced nowadays is the main problem. When you look at those chickens, they are not happy, and all these energies, the antibiotics, everything goes into the egg, and then you eat all this unhappiness, this stress doesn't let you rise your energy when you have all these heavy energies when you put all these heavy energies into your body. So meat, egg. And then we come to the topic of milk products. What's up with milk products? In the ancient scriptures, when you look into the Vedic culture, the ancient Indian culture, milk was promoted very much, but not in the way like it is today. First of all, we just consume too much milk, because just have a look when you go into the supermarket, just turn around and see in so many products there's milk inside. You wouldn't even think that there is milk inside. So we eat too much milk. And the second problem is that the milk quality is very, very bad. Now in these ancient scriptures, at that time when they were written down, every family had, or every richer family had a cow, and they had the extra milk from the cow. So when the cow had a baby, the baby was fed by the mother, and whatever milk was extra, whatever they could get extra, the people ate. Now the milk production is not like this anymore. There are many documentaries out there where you can look up how milk cows are treated, and I promise you, if you watch such a documentary, you will not want to drink milk anymore, because you feel all this pain. Just starting that the mother is separated from the baby at a very early age, like a few days old baby is separated from the mother. And then they are kept in two tight places. And because of that, they are fed antibiotics so they don't develop any diseases. Mostly they're just kept indoors all the time. They never see real sunshine. They always only have the artificial light. So in general also they are treated very cruelly, because the people who work there, they have a very tight schedule. They don't get paid well enough. They are frustrated, and they leave all their aggression out on the cows as well. So you can imagine this situation for the cows is not very nice there, and all this energy goes into the milk, and then we drink it. So on a physical level, the milk is not very healthy, because it's not very natural anymore. It's heated up, so it holds longer. There are antibiotics in there, all this. And on the energy level, all those negative feelings from the cow are in the milk. And then you would drink it, and you would bring all these energies into your body. And we don't want to feel anxious. We don't want to feel stressed. We don't want to feel sad. But by bringing these energies inside, we will feel like that. And then we have no idea why. And just because we drank milk. So these are the three big ones, which might be a little challenging to change if you're not vegetarian or plant-based yet. But I really try it. Just try it. Give yourself a week, try to cut it out and see if you feel a change. If you're still a meat eater, just cut out the meat for 1 or 2 weeks and see how different your body feels. If you're already vegetarian and you're still hanging on the milk products, cut it out for a week and see what's the difference. I don't want to preach just like this and try that, and now you eat this. It is really about experimenting and seeing how do you feel. You should feel the difference, okay? And now let's get more into the yogic diet. In yoga and also in Ayurveda, we divide food into 3 categories. We have Tamasic, Rajasic and Sattvic. Tamasic is very heavy. It brings a lot of heaviness, laziness, dullness into the body. We also call it the negative pranic food. Prana is the life energy. Prana is the life force which we want to get into our body. Now Tamasic we call negative pranic because by eating certain things which are categorized in that group, we use more energy to digest it than what we get out of it. So when you see, okay, I get that much energy out of the food, but my body needs that much energy to digest it, you're like, okay, why am I eating this? I want to get more energy out of it than I use for digesting it. So whatever is categorized under Tamasic, we should totally cut out. That would be all stimulants. That's, for example, coffee, alcohol, all kinds of drugs, and especially garlic and onion. Garlic and onion are actually used as remedies, as medicine in Ayurveda. So you would be prescribed for certain symptoms, you would be prescribed garlic and onion for a short period of time. If you eat it every day, it's really bad for you. Don't do that. That's a big change for a lot of people also, because it's in our westernized culture, we put a lot of garlic and onion just for the taste, because it overstimulates the nerves. And then maybe a little big surprise, in the Tamasic group, in the negative pranic group, we also find eggplant and mushrooms. Mushrooms, scientists still don't know how to categorize mushrooms. They're not sure, is this a plant now, is this a living being, what is it exactly? But in general, mushrooms have a very heavy energy and make us dull, so we don't want to eat mushrooms. And we have eggplant. Eggplant has a toxin, a nerval toxin, which when you eat it once, it doesn't affect you much, but when you eat the eggplant on a regular basis, it's not good for you. So these things you should totally cut out. About mushrooms, because that's always a big topic in our courses also. What you can do with mushrooms is also you can use them as remedy. So in the traditional Chinese medicine, you find a lot of mushrooms, but also as a remedy. You use it for certain ailments, not in the regular diet. So this is negative pranic food. We should totally cut out this. Then we have the next group. This is called Rajasic. Rajasic is zero pranic food. That means, okay, I get this much energy from the food and I need exactly the same amount of energy to digest the food. So I can eat it or I cannot eat it. It doesn't bring prana, it doesn't bring energy into my body. So it is okay to eat this sometimes just for taste, but I should know, okay, if I eat too much of this, it doesn't give me enough energy. The two big things which we have here are potatoes and tomatoes. So for taste reasons, you can always eat potatoes and tomatoes if you have some nice fresh vegetables also with it. You just have to be careful if you have problems with swelling in your joints, for example. If you have inflammation in your body, you should cut down on tomatoes. And with potatoes, you should cut it down a little when you have to sleep a lot, when you're very heavy, when it's very difficult for you to get up in the morning. Cut down on the potatoes. They bring a lot of heaviness in the body and it's harder to get up in the morning. In Rajasic, traditionally also we bring in the fish, the meat and eggs. But nowadays, with how the production is with fish, meat and eggs, it is counted to Tamasic, to negative pranic food, because of all the stress hormones, all the antibiotics, all the in fish, all the heavy metals. Almost all the fish is contaminated with heavy metals. So traditionally it would be counted as zero pranic food, but our modern meat, our modern fish, modern eggs are counted to negative pranic food. Okay, let's move on to the third group. Now it's getting interesting, because this is Sattvic. Sattvic is positive pranic food. That means I get this much energy from the food and I need this much energy to digest it. You see, this makes sense to eat this because you get energy, you get prana out of this food. Now, what is Sattvic food? Everything else, everything which I didn't mention now. So you can eat anything and everything, just cut out the stimulants like coffee, alcohol, garlic and onions, and eggplants and mushrooms, meat, egg and fish, and see that you have a balance on tomatoes and potatoes. And everything else you can eat. Traditionally, milk is also counted to Sattvic, but we talked about it already a little. This is your own choice. Try it out, try to cut out the milk as well and see how your body feels. So this is yogic diet. Sounds very complicated right now, but I will also paste some document under this where you have the list more clearly one more time, so you can have a sneak peek. and see and just try it for a few weeks. Like, how does this feel when I eat like this? How does my body feel? The feedback I always get is incredible from the people who stay with us for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then they keep up with this diet and they tell me, why didn't I do this my whole life? I've never felt like this. I didn't know that I can feel like this. So it's worth a try, I would say.